Hey, Bengals fans, welcome to a very special episode of the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast. We have the triumvirate of me, Matt Minnick, John Sheeran joining the program. And we are all here because we have a very special guest, Mark Hellendrung, owner of Narragansett Beer and Brewery. They are, we've teased it a little bit, they are a partner and a sponsor of this program. We will be partnering with them throughout the entire season and in our new pregame show that we'll be launching this year. Gentlemen, I hope you're okay, but Mark, I'm going to focus on you if you don't mind. How are you doing today, sir? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. It's awesome to be here. Great to be a part of this show and look forward to an awesome season.
Well, if you would, tell us a little bit about, just give us a little history lesson on Narragansett Beer and Brewery. They've been around for a long time, and you have been the owner, operator, president, wearing many hats for the organization. You've been there now for a little while and kind of revived the brand. So if you wouldn't mind, give us a little history lesson as we get to know you and the brewery a little bit.
Yeah, so that's great. So Narragansett Beer goes all the way back to 1890. It was started by 6 German immigrants and who really had a love of lager, and they started the brewery, and by 1919 we were the #1 beer in New England. Did well over 1 million barrels at its peak. At the peak, it had over a 65% market share of New England beer. It was just massive, and it was the official beer of the Red Sox, and for over 40 years. And I could talk about the history for forever. Probably the most famous scene was in Jaws when Quint crushed that can when he was trying to intimidate Hooper, and so people remember that. And we do those Jaws retro cans all summer long. You can find them out in the market now in our 12 packs and 30 packs. And unfortunately, they sold out in the late 60s to a company called Falstaff, and basically was a long, slow demise until 2005. After I had sold Nantucket Nectars, I was looking for something to do and came across Narragansett Beer and just fell in love with it and felt like it deserved a better fate than death. And so I got together with the last brewmaster from the brewery, and we brought back the original recipe, which is a great story, but more importantly, it's a great beer. We've won a ton of awards. It's the highest rated lager in America. And so we've been doing this for 15 years or so, and we've got, in addition to the lager, we've introduced some other craft styles that we'll talk about through the course of the year, and so we're the 30th largest brewery in America, and rolled into Ohio about a year ago, and Northern Kentucky, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I love Cincinnati, and actually miss traveling there. I discovered Underberg there when I was there last October, and appreciate drinking that. That's a nice little digestive that I had never seen in New England before. So that's I've got a personal story, but depending on how this goes, I'll share that with
you. Mark, the cans of Narragansett say "Made on Honor, Sold on Merit" on them. I was just wondering, where did that come from?
Well, what's really fun about Narragansett is we've got 130 years of history to play with, and so "Made on Honor, Sold on Merit" actually comes from a stained glass window that used to hang over the old brewery back in the 1900s, and it's basically speaks to the quality of the beer, made on honor, and then sold on merit. Just it sells itself to a certain degree. So we're not a big NASCAR brand like you see on TV. We're a small brewery that kind of does it the old school way, up and down the street and in bars. And I think Made on Honor, Sold on Merit, when we were going through how to bring the beer back, kind of spoke volumes about that passion and that work ethic and just how we do things. So that's where that comes from.
So you're out of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Lots of transition football wise going on there. With Brady out, with Cam Newton coming in. Are you a Patriots fan? Are you following Brady? What's the deal?
We're going there already, I guess. How we've the Narragansett conversation. Take long. We're going right back. So, yes, I am a Patriots fan. I've been a season ticket holder since they signed Bill Parcells back in, I don't even know what that was, 97 or 96 or something like that. And so it's been a pretty charmed existence since whoever that was on the Steelers took out Bledsoe and Tom Brady stepped in and in my job it's been, I travel a lot, or I used to travel a lot before COVID, but you take a lot of shit being a Patriots fan and deservedly so, right? Like they just win. And I always felt bad. Like it just, you go to Cincinnati and you just like such bad things happen whenever the Patriots and Bengals played each other. But so I think we're about to get our own dose of reality this year for sure. And I've loved Brady, but I was kind of pissed when he left. And then when Gronk joined him down in Tampa, I was like, fuck these guys. Like this, am I allowed to swear on this podcast? I don't know.
Sure.
Whatever you want on this podcast.
Then I think I speak for a lot of people. Then people just got angry, and it's like, all right, we're moving on. And so I'm excited about Cam. It should be interesting, and it'll be fun. And the weird thing that people talked about around here was like, is it Kraft being a great owner, or is it Belichick being a great coach, or is it Brady being a great quarterback? And I think we're about to find out which one of those is true. And I just it'll be a crazy year on a lot of levels for Patriots fans.
Yeah, I definitely agree, though. It's definitely Belichick. But regardless of that, you said you came in, you started distributing into Ohio about last year. Aside from the fact that all Cincinnatians are drunks like myself, what was like the purpose and the mission of transitioning into that Midwest market?
Well, it's always been fan driven, and so we actually we had a great distributor in Kentucky, and we had, for whatever reason, I guess a lot of New Englanders go to Louisville or UK, and so people were asking for it, and so we kicked it off, and it was going great, and our distributor's nephew, a great guy named George Fisher, owns Cavalier Distributing, and he's been bugging me for a couple of years to bring it to Ohio, and just about last October he said, you know what, let's do it, and so they've been great. They're an awesome distributor. They've put us into some great bars, and we're doing well in Kroger and some other chains, and of course the independents. What's the real big crazy grocery store in Cincinnati? I always forget the name of it. It's
Kroger dominates here specifically because it's based here. I'm not. There's no Publix, obviously. It's not the South.
Right.
So.
Is it Jungle Gyms or something like that?
Jungle Gyms, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So, I didn't make it out there last time I was there, but I'm told I need to go check that place out. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
So they sell a bunch of Gansett anyway. So go to Kroger, go to Jungle Gyms, go to great bars, and you should find some Narragansett there.
Sorry to cut you off there, Mark. Talking with Mark Hellendrung, the president owner of Narragansett Beer, our newest partner and sponsor of the Orange and Black Insider Bengals podcast, as well as Matt Minnick's show, Chalk Talk. Happy to have them on board. They are partnering with us throughout the season, and specifically with our pregame show that we will be launching and bringing you throughout the regular season, and hopefully maybe even the postseason should the Bengals make it. So appreciate your time, Mark. Look, I got two questions for you here. I'm an IPA guy personally, and so one question I would have is, for your products, if someone maybe has a taste for, an IPA, what's a different beer that you would say, hey, actually try our lager? You still may find that to be a really, enjoyable beer. Something kind of not necessarily write up your palate or your profile preference for a beer. What's something where you would say, if you like this, you will still like this type of beer that we provide, even though it's not really one in your wheelhouse that you normally drink?
Right. So really, we just launched a new hard tea. So our 4 powerhouse brands are, we've got a hard tea. And so if you like twisted tea, this is lightly carbonated. So it's a little bit more refreshing than a twisted. So if you like twisted tea, try our hard tea. We've got Fresh Catch, which is on the screen right now. So if you like a Kona Big Wave or Firestone Walker 805, this is a blonde ale, just like one of those, except with a kind of a little bit more vibrant dry hopped Citra finish. Then we've got our Del Shandy, which is, if you like Leinenkugel lemon shandy, this is a higher rated lager version of that. So the lager lets the all natural lemon concentrate kind of come through in a much kind of cleaner, crisper way. And then, of course, the flagship lager is a classic American lager beer, and really kind of like a Yingling, but really more like almost like a Pacifico or a Red Stripe or some of those more higher end lagers that'll give you a more kind of malty. Ours is a higher malt ratio than some of the adjuncts, like a rice that Budweiser uses, which is, gives it that kind of much lighter. So it's got a little bit more beer flavor than the other lagers out there, which is what I think a lot of people seem to enjoy. And certainly Ohio is lager country. I mean, you go out there and it's just lagers all over the place.
You mentioned Fresh Catch. So that is one of the ways that we're going to be talking about Narragansett throughout the years. Every week on the pregame show, we'll have the Narragansett Fresh Catch from the previous week.
Love it.
Also, High Neighbor Grab a Gansett is the slogan. So we're going to have the High Neighbor hit of the week as well to get the defensive guys involved.
Oh, I love it. Mouth to mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. So watch out for that stuff, and some real cool breakdowns we'll have of that stuff, and hopefully drawing attention to a lot of really good positive stuff coming from the Bengals this year, and taking a step up from what we saw the previous year.
I'm a fan. I'm rooting for it.
Now, what would you say is the best kind of tailgating beer, since we're running the virtual tailgate this year? What's a good tailgating beer from you?
Definitely the lager. You go get yourself a 30-pack and just let it rip. It's not that complicated.
It truly isn't.
Go grill some meat, get yourself a bag of chips, and you're good to go.
Love it. What is your go? Is the lager your go-to, Mark? Is that the one that you personally enjoy the most of your line of products?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a hoppy IPA every once in a while, but the lager's that's what I grew up drinking. It's what I still love, and there's just nothing better for me. I just love cracking open a tall boy and enjoying, whether it's hot out, cold out, or something in between. It's right there for you.
How far away are we from the seltzer release?
Well, sadly, I think I'm going to get dragged into this category, but kicking and screaming. But yeah, we might be doing a Dell's seltzer next summer. So
don't sound so disappointed. I'm hyped now.
You are? All right.
Yeah.
John's the resident seltzer guy. I mean, I enjoy him here and there too, but John likes the seltzers.
Yeah,
right?
I understand. Yep.
That was a Dell's seltzer, you said?
Yeah, so we'll probably do it under the Dell's name and do a watermelon, do probably a black cherry, and do the lemon.
Yeah. So as the resident Rhode Islander, Dell's is a Narragansett and Dell's are probably the two biggest deals in Rhode Island when it comes to drinks. So you get Narragansett on the hard side, and you get Dell's on the soft side.
Yeah,
this is what I'm talking about. Corner in the summer in Rhode Island.
Right, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's almost too easy. I almost have to do it, right?
Oh yeah, that's free money right there, definitely.
Yeah.
Who is for those who don't know who is Dell? Is Dell? What's the history behind Dell? The name there.
So Dell is Rich DeLucia, and Grandpa DeLucia brought the recipe over from Italy. And so for those who don't know, is there a frozen lemonade version in Ohio? It seems like there is one everywhere else, but kind of like a frozen lemonade slushy. Matt, what is there back home?
I don't know.
There in Ohio?
I never had anything like it until I moved to Rhode Island, to be honest with you.
So it's like Italian ice or a frozen slushy.
Yeah,
anyway,
thing.
yeah.
Right.
So Grandpa DeLucia brought this recipe over from Italy, and what it used to be was they would store ice in the caves up in the mountains in Italy, and bring the ice down and shave it and put lemon and sugar, and it would be nice, refreshing drink in the summertime. So he brought that, and they've got trucks and stands all over Rhode Island and southeastern New England. And so we partnered with those guys with the flavoring in our great lager to really come out with the highest rated shandy out there. Yep.
Mark,
so
before we get to kind of hearing about where your products are available, especially in the greater Ohio, Kentucky area. And I obviously, if my colleagues have some more questions for you, I want to get those to you too, but I know your time is valuable. Quickly though, how do you see, just talking a little bit more football, you talked about the Pats and the Buccaneers a little bit. How do you kind of see the season playing out, especially when it comes to some teams that you probably got your eyes on, the Bengals being one of them, being that your product is in that market, the Pats, and what's going to happen there with so many big faces not in New England anymore, the Buccaneers, and just the NFL in general, given such the different the pandemic affecting the season and all of that.
Yeah. One thing, like I've been watching the NBA playoffs, right? And it seems like one thing I'm looking forward to seeing is, like, football's one of those sports where it just feels like the players feed off the energy of the crowd, right? And I don't know how that's gonna happen, right? And so that'll be one thing that'll be interesting. And then, like, the Patriots specifically, listen, I'm a huge Belichick fan, and he always seems to be one step ahead of every other coach. And so with, like, the new rules and the no preseason games and all this other stuff, he always breaks it down into these 4-game seasons, right? And, like, I feel like the Patriots, despite the names all changing, they just somehow come out and get prepared, and he always just fuels them with the locker room material or whatever it is to, like, give them this, like, inferiority complex that they somehow come on the field and think they're the underdog when they're the freaking 14-point favorite, right? And so I think it'll keep going, right? Like, that hasn't changed. And so, I mean, God, if Cam Newton comes out and is anything like his former self, like, it could be pretty freaking awesome, So I'm excited for it. It's exciting to have something new, and I know that sounds kind of stupid coming from a guy who probably looks like he's spoiled with Super Bowl titles and AFC championships, but sometimes new is good, and I'm excited about it, and I think the league's probably wide open because of it. It always is sort of wide open, right? It especially in the free agent era. So I don't know. I think it's anybody's guess on who comes out strong. I don't know. How are the Steelers going to be this year?
Oh God.
And then,
I mean, that's like the Patriots. They're run very well, so I'm sure they'll be competitive in a lot, and they've got talent. But they never seem to be out of it. Even when they start slow, they seem to end hot and somehow are in the mix at some point. And Tomlin, I was having a discussion with somebody recently. Tomlin has never had a losing season as the Steelers head coach. He's at least been 8-8 or above ever since he's taken over for Bill Cowher, which is
it's shocking.
Impressive. And
then I don't know, man. I'm not totally sold on Lamar Jackson, but somehow that guy just wins, right? And then you guys got a pretty good quarterback, so who the hell knows what's going to happen?
Be an interesting division, and I think the Bengals will probably, they'll be in the mix, they'll be competitive this year, but I don't, they still may need another year or two to get their feet under them. They went under underwent a lot of transition this year with their roster, quarterback, all of that, as you probably know. So,
Yep.
What else you guys got for Mark before he talks a little bit more about where the products are available and where our listeners can get Narragansett Beer products in the Ohio area and really around the U.S.?
Matt, you got anything?
I'm good.
I'm just waiting for this beer to arrive. To be honest with you, I was promised beer.
Is that right? The delivery hasn't arrived yet?
I don't believe so, but I will definitely let you know when it does.
That's generous of you guys to think to do that for us, Mark, and we will definitely be promoting your great products. We're excited about this partnership with Narragansett Beer. Where can folks kind of get the product in the Ohio area, the Kentucky area, and then obviously around the U.S.? I know, sorry to put you on the spot in terms of thinking of all these retailers that may have it, but if you're able to kind of give us an idea where to get it, and it looks like you can maybe get some of the stuff online too on your website, Narragansett Beer, if they're unable to find it at a liquor store or grocer near them.
Yep. So so for Bengals fans who are spread out all over the place, we're essentially up and down the East Coast, Maine to Miami, and then as far west as Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, kind of that line heading down south. So that's where we're available generally. And so, I mentioned Jungle Gyms and Kroger, and then Party Source over in Kentucky. And really the easiest thing to do, just because beer is so local these days, and the best thing to do is go onto our website, narragansettbeer.com, and you'll see up there on the tab, there's a beer finder. And I think it's as simple as you enter in your zip code, and it'll give you, the closest bars and restaurants and liquor stores, grocery stores near you to
very nice
find Narragansett. Yeah. So that's it right there. You go right there, you see what kind of product you want, bars, restaurants, distance. Look at this modern technology at your fingertips.
Love it.
So so that's the best way to do it. And it's awesome.
And it looks like you're also aligned with some delivery services as well. Drizzly, a new one, and it looks like Tap Room as well. Some mobile app services that deliver alcohol. So you don't even need to leave. So if you've had a couple of Gansets and you want more, order it online and have it brought to you. Don't go out driving, and have it brought to you and get their great products.
Domino's and Drizzly. You don't even need to leave the couch.
We've been talking with Mark Hellendrung, the owner proprietor of Narragansett Beer and Brewery. They have recently expanded into the Ohio, Kentucky area, have long been a staple on the East Coast and around the U.S. Great products. We are happy to have them partnering with us. I especially want to thank our co-host Matt Minnick for coordinating this partnership with Mark and his great company. You'll be hopefully trying their products as we talk about Bengals football throughout the season, and they are our heading sponsor throughout the regular season and in our pregame show. So Mark, thanks for giving us a little bit of a history lesson on your company. Thanks for partnering with us. We're really, really excited about it, and I think this is going to be a good partnership, and hopefully we can continue this beyond this regular season.
Amen. Go Bengals. Let's have some Cincinnati chili, some Narragansett beer, and get some wins.
Yeah.
This guy came prepared. He said chili.
Well, so do we have 35 seconds?
Of course we do. We've got as much as you'll give us, my friend.
So Cincinnati has a special place in my family and my friends because we went to a tailgate party. This is probably 2 or 3 years ago. And my wife, who's an unbelievable cook, made Cincinnati chili. Our friends, actually our vet, went to Ohio State Medical School or veterinary school. And so she had made it for us and we loved it. And so she made it. We brought it to this party and she actually had a little bit too much Kim Crawford at the party. And when it came to serving the Cincinnati chili, she said, "Who wants some Cincinnati chili?" So famously, whenever she's had a little bit too much to drink, we ask her if she's in Cincinnati right now. So that's my story about Cincinnati.
That's awesome. I think a lot of us have either stories about ourselves or friends that we can poke fun of based on similar experiences.
Or who have been to Cincinnati.
We've been to both Cincinnati and Cincinnati. Yes, I think I can say that I've been both. But thank you, Mark, for your time. Thank you for sponsoring our program, and thank you for partnering with us. We're really excited about it. And beer and football, no better combination in a lot of people's books here. So and of course your company makes great products, so we're excited about it.
Amen. Thank you. Look forward to a great year.
All right. Thanks for Matt, for John and myself, and for Mark Hellendrung, owner of Narragansett Beer. This has been a special episode of the Orange and Black Insider, talking and getting to know our newest sponsor, Narragansett Beer. Check out their products where it is available, and we will see